Hi guys, Andy Golf, my dad. Welcome to another episode of Scratch Golf Tips. I've done scratch golf videos in the past and they've gone down really well on YouTube. So here's another episode, and this one I'm talking all about misses. So golf is definitely a game of misses, but it's all about how good our bad shots are. So in this video, I'm going to go through my tips and what I use out on the course to make sure I don't get punished for the bad shots and how I can improve the course management when we're out here. So let's go. Okay, so my first tip is all about the aim. So as they say, aim big, miss big. So we want to aim small, miss small. So let's get better at aligning. I know when I'm out filming, I don't get the time to do this as much as I'm setting up the camera. When I'm doing a scoring round, definitely want to pick this. So how I do it, I pick a target in the distance, which for me on this hole is the middle of the conifer right at the back of the green. So I'm going to trace a line, close my one, use my dominant eye. So find out which is your dominant eye also. Mine's my right eye. So I close my left eye. I've got my ball. I've got the conifer in the background. So I'm drawing a line through that ball to the conifer. I am then picking a target out in front of here. So for example, that is where my start line is. Also, while right here, we do use lines on the ball for putting, so why not use it on the tee marker as well? So I've picked my line out 12, 18 inches in front. So just a little bit of a training aid, a guide. So now I know I don't have to look out in the distance. Now I'm going to build my stance around that. So setting my club face. So as they say, the face sends it, the path bends it if we hit the middle of a club. So I'm now aiming my face from here to that target. I don't need to look down there. So that is square to the mark just in front. Set my body to the shape I want to hit, so a little neutral one on here. So now I don't need to look up. This should be going lined up perfectly with that conifer. Lines marked up, put a swing on it. Straight down the middle. Start line, straight over my target line. So it makes my misses a lot less. Okay guys, so the next tip what I use out on the course is to actually use the tee box and the width of the tee box. But let's use the tee box to our advantage. So if there's a hole where the trouble's down the left, we want to be aiming away from the trouble. So if I tee it up on the left hand side, my peripheral vision is away from the danger. Again, vice versa from the right hand side. So if I'm a fader slicer of the ball, the trees are in my eye line on here, so I'm not really gonna be teeing it up from this side of the box. As I'm bringing that into play in my eye line, it just feels a lot tighter than it actually is. Whereas if we move positions, so just by moving the ball 5-6 yards, it's really opened up the hole. It looks a lot wider down there than it does even just from 5 yards away from there. So now if I am a fader of the golf ball, I've got plenty of room to start this down the left, or from here I can hit both shots on there. And again, if the danger was down the right hand side, from this tee box I'm hitting everything away from the danger. So as of the previous tip, now we're now picking a target, we are aiming small so that we've got to miss small, and now by using the tee box we're using that to our advantage to open up the golf holes from different views. So don't forget, use the tee box. You don't just have to put it down in the middle of the tee box. Have a look from different sides. Watch how that hole opens up. From the right hand side here, the fairway looks about 20 yards bigger. I've crushed that down the middle. Absolutely ripped that one. Neutral ball, but it just fell. I've got a massive target down there. So again, if we come back on this hole to the left of the tee, I can't really hit the cut. I'm bringing those branches into play. So if I'm not comfortable hitting the draw, definitely makes this hole a little bit tougher. But for me, if I was a drawer of the ball, if I want to hit the draw, which I can do, now I can aim the conifer on the right hand side. I've got acres to work it away. So if the danger's on the left hand side, I know I'm not bringing that into play because I'm actually aiming 50, 60 yards further away from this angle. So here we go, let's pick the target. Conifer on the right, pick my target here, build my draw stance. I'm not bringing any danger down the left into play. Crushed it, just drawing back to target. So that's the tip, guys. Make sure we use the tee box and you'll see how the golf holes look completely different just from a slight change of angle. Right guys, so my next tip to help with the misses is more visualization. I do sometimes get too much going off in my head and sometimes I struggle to take the club away. But if I start to visualize the shot shape I want to create, the shot. So from time to time, I really try to concentrate on visualization. So behind the ball, I'm picturing if I'm seeing the shape, I'm seeing the flight. So when I'm over the ball, I'm trying to forget about all swing thoughts, which I know is easier said than done. So I try and only have one swing thought for the day, but try and picture the shot. I know from my other sporting background, tennis, especially for cricket, I was a decent quickish bowler, but what I was really good at was picking my spot where I wanted the ball to land. So I would visualize that at the top of my run up for the cricket, know exactly where I wanted to pitch that ball. So if you're telling the brain what we want it to produce, it's that clever. It definitely helps with the outcome. So the tip is just take a bit of time behind the ball, have a go at visualization and just give it a go for yourself. See if it works for you. Right, and the next tip, and this is probably the biggest tip, is let's stop firing at those flags. I've actually just done a video on the strategies that tour pros use when it comes to aiming. So I'm not going to full data on this video. I'll leave the link in the description about the video, what I did. It's actually using a cone of misses. So I'll pop up a little graphic here. So this is the cone. So obviously the longer the club, the dispersion is a lot wider. So the dispersion comes down. But golf, as we've already said, is a game of misses. Golf is all about randomness, so we can use that maths again to help. So this one's not too bad. The flag here is just center, just right of center really. So by using the cone of misses, I can actually go near enough at this flag. If the flag was to the right hand side or on the left, please let's stop aiming at that flag. Most of the best shots you've seen on TV, like Cameron Smith on the 17th at TPC when he nearly pitched it on the flag where he was actually near the flag towards the water. He was aiming in the middle of the green, but he's actually pushed the ball right. So it's looked a fantastic shot, but he didn't play that, as he said himself. So we know by using the cone of misses, I'm gonna miss this left and right of the pin. So if the pin's on the right and I go straight at this pin, if half the times I'm pushing this to the right, I'm gonna leave myself short-sided and the chances of getting up and down are a lot less than if I'm missing on the longer side. So on here, I've got the middle to right flag. So I'm actually gonna use my aim. I'm gonna start this 3 yards left of the pin. Then from here, if I push it or if I slightly overdraw it, I'm still gonna be on the green and I'm gonna have a 2-putt. Obviously, the further the club, the longer the club and the standard of the play, the dispersion gets bigger. So again, I would always be aiming really for the middle of the green, and then we're gonna hit more green in regulation and we're not gonna short side. So again, here I've got 105 yards, 108 yards. Use the cone of misses. Slightly tough lie because the slope's coming down. So I've picked my target. Should be. There you can see. So that one's good for distance, but as you can see from there, I've pushed that by 6-7 yards. So if that pin was on the right hand side and I'd gone straight at that pin, I'd have pushed it, I'd be 6-7 yards in the semi-rough, short-sighted myself. So prime example there, let's stop aiming at those flags and we will help play smarter, better golf and stop throwing in those silly bogeys or potential double bogeys if we're short-sided ourselves. Right, so again with misses, if we've short-sided ourselves, let's not make any more silly mistakes. So I only want to be chipping once. So here I've got a downhill lie, I've got to go over the bunker. If the pin was even closer and totally short-sided, as I said, I only want to be chipping once. So I don't mind it goes past the pin. I don't want to be making double. If I make bogey, so be it. Up and down is a bonus from here. So what we got to make sure is no silly mistakes. Tough lie here, it's downhill, I've got grass behind the ball. So I don't want to dump this just in the bunker in front. I'd rather be more aggressive, go past the pin, take my medicine for being short-sided So let's not compound that miss. Okay, it's come out hot, pitch level with the pin. But from there, I've got a 12-foot putt, 10-foot putt to try and save par, but we've not made no silly mistakes. So let's keep those doubles off the card. So as we see, if we were going to play the Hollywood, if the pin was really on that front edge, again, it's a tough lie. I'm going to pitch this just over the bunker, play this as a bunker shot. Throat with danger. I played that really nice, but that is definitely the low percentage shot. I've actually pitched that exactly, so that was a front pin, but that's where the short game skills come in. But let's not make any silly mistakes. We'll take a 2-putt, 1-putt bonus, but we're only chipping once. Right guys, hope you enjoyed the episode of Scratch Golf Tips. Let's just remember that tour pros out there are missing a lot more than you think they are. They're just being smarter with the misses. Also, for me also, I'm trying to still play around scratch level, so I don't get the time to practice like I used to, but my golf IQ and course management is a whole lot better. My short game's a whole lot better. So putting these principles into practice will hopefully help me when we get the vlogging cameras out very, very soon. So as we've shown on here, let's use that tee box. Let's be hitting away from danger. Let's use the tee box to make our misses a lot more forgiving. Let's get better at choosing a target, choosing the target in front of the golf ball. Have a look at using the cone of misses. I've only been using it now for a couple of days, and it's definitely transformed the way I'm thinking out on the golf course. So I should be hitting a lot more greens in regulation now, which means a lot more birdie chances, hopefully. In terms of chipping, if we've missed and we've short-sided ourselves, make sure we don't compound those misses. We only want to be chipping once. Hope you enjoyed that, guys. Anyway, let me know if you've used any of these in the video and they've helped you. If they do, please, if you want to hit that like and subscribe, it would be a big help. Right, hopefully course vlogging cameras are coming out very soon. The sun's out, the shorts are out. I think spring's coming, guys. See you soon.